Hi everyone, it's Amy, and today in my kitchen I'm making turtle brownies. These are my thick and chewy one bowl brownies, and I've loaded them with pecans, caramel, chocolate chips, and I think we need to just get started. So first off, you're going to get a large bowl, and you are going to add in 1 cup of melted butter, half a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and 2 whole cups of sugar. These are not for the faint of heart. And you're going to mix those together until that chocolate is pretty much melted. You can do this in a bowl like I'm doing, or you can melt your butter in a medium-sized saucepan on your stovetop. That works too. And then just mix everything in the saucepan so that way you only have 1 bowl to clean up. It's okay if you have a few chunks of chocolate chips. Those will just make it a chocolate chip brownie. So let's get moving on here. And we're gonna add in 4 eggs. And I like to add them in 1 at a time just to make sure they get blended really well. All right, that looks great. We're gonna add in a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. You can measure it. I like to just pour it straight from my heart. And now you'll add in all your dry ingredients. You need a cup of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, and you'll need half a teaspoon of kosher salt and half a teaspoon of baking powder. And you're gonna mix this in some giant strokes here. You don't wanna overmix when you're making brownies. You just want that dry ingredients to be blended into the wet ingredients. And this is true even if you're using a box mix of brownies, so keep that in mind. Okay, so just until those dry ingredients are no longer visible, and I'm gonna add in half a cup of chopped pecans. We're going to use a 9-inch square baking dish, and I've lined it with parchment paper. I put binder clips to hold the parchment paper in place, but make sure you take those off before you put that in the oven. All right, spread the batter in your pan evenly. Okay, we are gonna set this aside and make the caramel topping. In a bowl, I have put an entire bag of caramels. This is an 11-ounce bag. If you can find the caramel bits, that's even better because then you don't have to unwrap each caramel and it saves you about 10 minutes. So if you can find the baking caramel bits, great. If not, you'll need a whole bag of these caramels. You're gonna put these in here, and to this we're going to add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And now I'm gonna put this in the microwave for about 30 seconds, stir it, and I'm gonna repeat that for about 2 minutes until it's combined and melted. I'll be right back. Okay, this is all melted. I'm just gonna give it another quick stir to make sure that the cream is combined with the caramel. And now we're just gonna pour this over the top of our brownie batter. And you can see there's a few little chunks. That is not a problem at all. They will bake right into the batter. And then I take my spatula and just kind of, I don't really swirl it, but I make a few divots in there to make sure the caramel gets nice and deep into the brownies. Okay, it's almost ready to bake. As promised, we're gonna top it with some more pecans. This is about a half a cup of chopped pecans and another half cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. So I'll be back. All right, these brownies are cooled and ready to dig into. Look how beautiful that shine is. And because we use parchment paper, they just lift right out of that pan. Let's cut into these. So good, you guys. Let me see if I can break it open here to show you a little of that caramel chew. Enjoy.